in the stream.
Hi. Let's try this.
We're here.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the mic.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of the Christmas party. Office party.
Another episode.
Our second annual Christmas party.
Yes.
And I think I was here for the first one.
You were? And that's the fun thing about this is like we our traditional office party, we're drinking and smoking. We're just doing it separately so that we know Kyle can't copy his ass on the machine.
Oh, yes, I can. I got a new printer, please.
Well, that's definitely something that we could stream on.
But now he can do a 3D printing of his ass.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, I absolutely can.
Yeah, well, that spells.
Yeah,
don't give me an email address to that one. I'll print you some fucked up shit.
I'm just telling you, some of the stuff that's came across my printer, and I've had the printer less than a week.
Wow.
I printed it. I made his printer during the last show print a purple xenomorph dildo. A picture of one. It was great. Tail and all.
And my kids sit on a kitty cat in a coffee cup. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks kind of like that.
But then I sent him one that reminded him to get more paper and ink. So it's okay. We got this.
So, hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Tasker says hello.
I wrote a Tasker.
Drinking today.
Ratatosker is drinking some Crown Royal today.
I'm with you, man.
He's fancy. I'm drinking $2 Chuck.
I am drinking blue raspberry bombsicle cocktails.
I am drinking pineapple vodka with pineapple rum and pineapple juice and a little bit of Baja Blast Mountain Dew.
There you go.
Are you getting close to your new recipe?
This one's pretty strong, man. So it needs the white cream mixed in with it, but we might be onto something here.
Oh yeah.
Is this the start of your drink that Stefan's been asking for a while?
It might be, and it's all good stuff. I'm a vodka man myself, so I mean, I've had shitty vodka, like the little $5 bottles of vodka that you get at the gas stations, and I've had good, expensive vodka, like the Absolute, Smirnoff, and all that. This is Smirnoff Pineapple. It was $13 for the bottle, mixed with some Malibu pineapple rum, some just regular pineapple juice, and a little bit of Baja Blast Mountain Dew. I think if we had the like the white cream liqueur, then I think we'd be well on our way to what was it? What did we call it?
The orgasmic wave.
Yes.
Orgasmic wave. Yes.
Be some white cream.
You know, even if I don't have the white cream liqueur, you could probably top this with a little bit of like Ready Whip, Cool Whip. I
Cool
think
Whip.
that's pretty good too.
We just used to top things with a little bit of cream when I was
Yep.
bartending. We had like Starburst. We put some peach schnapps, orange juice, a bit of grenadine, and a little bit of cream, and swirled it so it was this really marbled looking drink, and it tasted like Starburst candies.
Nice.
Sounds good.
I didn't think about the peach schnapps, but I think that would taste really good in here as well because it'd make it a little bit more like a almost like a fuzzy navel type drink, except instead of orange juice, it's pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Fuzzy. Oh, no, that wouldn't work.
I didn't know that was a drink. I just thought it was my problem.
Yep.
I gotta figure, what does MMFWCL? Because I'm like, my man, freaking White
Mad
Claw.
motherfucking clown love.
Okay, cool. I'm like, why are we talking about White Claw, man? Who are you? Thank you for explaining that to me.
No, Dale, I have
recently. First thing that
just
came to my head, it could mean anything. I was just thinking Juggalo.
I have
Mad
recently spoken to an expert to get some clarifications on something that you pronounced incorrectly. According to management at my local Walgreens, it is indeed pronounced Walgreens. And they actually sent an email higher up in the company to find out if anyone in their areas pronounced it Walgreens. And they said they had never heard of that before.
Well, it's not so much grins as it is grins.
Yeah. No, I
like
get it.
GRENS, because you've put GRINS, and it's like,
no, I did one E.
like, okay, but you have spelled it with an I just to torment me.
Yeah, that's just to
because
fuck
they
with you,
don't.
yeah.
Yes.
No, to them I just put one E because I know how you mean to spell it.
Well,
I just wanted you to know
there
that
is
I went that extra mile just for you, man. Freak Show John helped me out.
It's Walgreens
Thank
here
you.
in Ohio.
I just have to constantly fuck with her. I haven't seen her in a while, so I have to fuck with her extra, like right out of the gate, because it's
Yeah.
necessary.
Well, you know, some people say Tuesday.
Are we
I have
shooting them
family who
people?
does that. No, they're my family members.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Just tie them up and torture them for a while instead. Gotcha.
I'm just saying, everybody's got their thing, and I learned at Walgreens.
You say potato?
I say spud.
No, but I spell tomato and potato with an extra E on the end, unless it's for something that I have to be grammatically correct on.
I do that because of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. There's the guy in the bingo hall that just goes, tomato! The way he pronounces it sounds like it has an E on it.
So,
tomatoes.
I have family members that also say Tuesday, but they would try to torture you back if you tried.
Yes, that's my favorite. The victim's the quarterback.
It throws the whole flow of the song off. Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right.
Changes the vibe, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have my pronunciation. Who's heard me just?
Who's what?
Hey, Raz.
Okay.
What's that blue grocery store that I go to? What do you call it?
Walmart.
I call it Gray, or I call it K. Rogers. What do you call it?
Kroger.
K. Rogers is Walmart.
I call it Kroger.
It's K. Rogers.
We got the Kroger.
It's K. Rogers.
Crozier.
And it's been an odd week.
Things out of their scalp.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Should we address the elephant in the room?
I'm
right here, that's
sorry. I'm sorry.
Give me 1 second. I'm actually having to answer a good friend of ours.
No, not a problem. Take your time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile,
So-
smell music.
So in the meantime, do you want to talk about our day, Raz?
Yeah, we had a fun day. We went and we ate some food. We wandered around the dirt mall for a while. That was a lot of fun. I rode a cart in Walmart. That was fun. Or K. Rogers. And then we came back and built the shadow box for Fred, which was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of items to put in that box.
A lot. And we'll have a picture soon. So I'm going to make her take a picture before she wraps it. That way we have a picture. He showed up today. Literally
Break the
like
seal.
10 minutes after you left, 10, 15 minutes, Fred pulled up. I thought he left yesterday, but no, he's like, no, I just drove I had to drive to Louisville yesterday and I came back. I just got back. I'm going to go home and I'm going to leave for Colorado in the morning. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, well, Pal's got a gift for you. He's like, do I want to be scared? I was like, yeah, you should be terrified because you're not allowed to open it until you get back. And he's like, fuck.
Oh my gosh. Raz, I figured you'd show your turtle.
It's inside.
I know.
You got a
Figured
turtle?
You'd have that turtle.
I'm on the outside. But I was going to because I will go down there at some point.
Sorry about that, folks.
No apologies today.
So,
But these aren't allowed.
just so you know, our Facebook says that we're live, but I can't find the live feed on Facebook.
That happens sometimes on Facebook.
Refresh
Facebook.
I did refresh it. I
I
canceled
usually
it out
repost
and
it on
everything.
mine, but I just can't from the phone because my phone it's a great phone. I'm just not good at it.
So what I did was I shared it from our wonderful YouTube because I found that live and I found it actually feeding.
It's the
You know.
tube of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, yeah. We do have something really heavy to address on the network. Some of you may have seen this by now. Our beloved Uncle Necro, aka James Case, aka J. Milton Case II, passed away a couple of days ago. It was completely out of the blue. He hadn't been in the hospital suffering, going through anything huge or anything. It was just out. He was talking to all of us the night before, had plans to actually come and see me that day, and found out that he just passed. So he was, those of you who follow the network well, he is the man who came up with and was the main host behind Tomb of the Terrible, and was dedicated enough to show up for the first padded cell from the emergency room.
Yep.
Yep.
And so he was a very important part of our network.
He was the founder.
I personally have been friends with him since high school, and I was doing podcasting with him before I did podcasting with anybody else. I did a lot of movie stuff and book stuff, and so please, if you want to drop a note or anything, if you had a special episode that you had with him, let us know. Say something on the Owlite Network. We'll make sure that his family gets to hear about it because they would love to hear stories about how their brother and uncle influenced other people and how much he made them happy.
Yeah.
And we're also, Raditosker's a bit sad here too. we no longer will have Halloween Bear with us joining in on the episodes. But James was just an all-around amazing person that everybody who interacted with him, that he felt was a good person, you knew, he became a part of your life, and if he cared about you, he would contact with you. And if he didn't like you, you would know it too.
Immediately.
Because I would go out with him for a very long time every Wednesday, well, every other Wednesday, and people would come up we were just having our catch-up times out and about, and if somebody would just randomly come up to start talking to us, he would just be like, "Excuse me, are you writing a book on me? Why are you asking me all of these questions about myself? Could you leave?" Or he would just completely ignore them, which made for some fun, entertaining moments going out. But yeah, so this is something that's kind of breaking us down a little bit right now. But yeah, that was I don't really know how to go on from there right now.
He's also the creator of Little Raz,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
one of those things that he did for me, man, that I will never let go.
I would like to hear everybody else's thoughts on James, since we've all had interactions with him.
Yeah. I mean, him and I had moments where we irritated each other, and then 5 seconds later, we'd just talk about what we were irritated about and get along. We'd come up with really cool ideas. Dude was a hell of a writer, much like Dell and some of the rest of you. I got to read a lot of his stuff as he was writing it, and that man was a hell of a fucking writer. The fact that I got to be in a book with him will always mean the world to me. And one of my most favorite moments of existence was actually getting to meet him and Dell in person. Like
Yeah.
that whole day, the whole experience, everything we did, like when we were all together, dude, that'll always be special to me, man. Everything about him will always be special. We had recently also been talking about trying to make him a horror host. That was one of the big things that we were working on. We didn't really talk to the rest of you guys about it until we knew more, but that's something that he really wanted to do, and we were trying to get it set up. It's like him and I were literally going back and forth pretty much all the time, nonstop there for the last few months.
Yeah, I am very happy that he was published. It was about damn time, basically, that he got his work out there so that people could read it. And you guys can go find him on Fake Horror if you'd like to read some of his things. There is a books to read list for him. We can add that in the YouTube comments or the YouTube links later.
Sorry. Having some issues there.
You're going to say something, Jenny?
I love what he added to my life, because he added so many fun things. I have been looking forward to I look forward to Tomb of the Terrible every week, watching that terrible movie with Josh, and then coming and talking with you guys and just seeing his reactions. I look forward to when we get to have conversations about other stuff and other shows. And where did it go? I am so happy I got to be in multiple books with him. I got to see his poetry. I got to share his poetry with others. It's just one of the most amazing additions to my life was friendship.
Yeah, he was a very, very good friend.
He's loyal. Always loyal, man.
I'm a little sad that I never got to meet him in person because I really would have liked to. So I'm a little envious that you guys did get to meet him. Uh, it's funny that Dell mentions that if he didn't like you, he would let you know. I feel like that's how we started off. Like maybe he was trying to make up his mind about me, and maybe he didn't like me a little bit from the start, but I think he warmed up to me over time. James and I were roughly the same age. We were from the same generation, and we grew up with a lot of the same music. So I think that he and I had a lot of stuff in common. So it was very easy to view him kind of like a brother just because we had a lot of the same stuff in common, like the same kind of music and, same sort of general taste in movies and all of that stuff. Uh, Aside from doing Tomb of the Terrible, he also had Necroshock Radio. And I did listen to a couple of his podcasts with Necroshock Radio, and his stuff was really good. Like he spent a lot of time researching those bands and making a very professional sounding podcast, and you could tell that it was something that he was very passionate about.
Yeah.
Just his general level of knowledge with the music and with the movies and all of that stuff. It's just astounding the intellect that he had, with the stuff like that. And I get the privilege of being in a book with him as well, and you don't really think about that kind of thing when you're submitting the story, when you're publishing the story about who are the other people that are in the book with you until after the fact.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, just it makes you think, because now that word's going to live on, and he will not be forgotten because his work is out there. He made a contribution to society through the podcast that he did and all the episodes of Tomb of the Terrible, and now with his writing and all of that stuff. So it seems so completely out of left field when I found out, and I was like, damn. And I think I'm still trying to process it somewhat, and like what this means for the future of the tomb.
We talked about that a little bit. Did you see what I had posted in that group, Dell, about Tomb?
No.
My thought was to keep it going, to never retire that show and change the name from Tomb of the Terrible to Uncle Necro's Tomb of the Terrible. Do a new intro, do a new everything, because like that's kind of like the podcast version of the Eternal Flame, and like that's how it is, what it is in my brain, I guess.
We need a still of James though that we can intro the show with,
and Halloween Bear.
I mean, it has to be in there.
Yeah, I'm already working on something. If everybody's cool with that, I'm already working on something.
And if anybody has some good screenshots or good pictures that we have together, his sister would really appreciate those. To be, if you could send them to me, I can send them to her. That's including all of you folks out there. It would mean a lot to have as many memories of him being him and showing just how far he came with everything and how big of an inspiration he was to other people. I know he helped countless younger people going through a lot of depression and things, and that was just something he did, and he helped out a lot with his church. He was really big. He did all of their recordings and things for their services, and it was a really important part of who he was. and he did as much as he could to help around his community and with everybody with the movie stuff and the music. And yeah, he was just an incredible human being. And
He was.
we lost him way too early. Just, yeah. We're going to have a couple of these silent moments of just,
Get over
yeah.
it.
Or joining
Jenny?
them with us.
Do you want to say something, Jenny?
I like the different worlds he's added. And the ability to do things I hadn't done before when talking with him. And I know I'm adding way too many ands, but my brain isn't working. I've upset Dante by crying recently in the car ride yesterday, but I couldn't help it because I was just sitting there thinking, what about Monday? He can't tell me what he thought Monday of this stupid movie. I can't randomly message him Star Trek memes anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to send everything to Kate's files. What I wanted, all the Star Trek memes, any goth things. I've decided Kate's files is how I'm going to talk to him from here forward. And I don't, it's a place to post. I'm going to post the links to find his stuff there. I'm going to send the memes I find there. He's one of the few friends I had that liked the stupid memes of Star Trek that my sister would send me.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way that we can get his catalog of the podcast that he did with Necroshock Radio and put them up on the Owlite website for an archive as like a one-stop shop to find his stuff?
I think that is going to be more of that's his thing, but we can go through and get all of the Owlite stuff and make a James playlist that has everything he was on. We'll do one with the short stories as well as one with the longer shows that he was on. I'm already bookmarking all of them so that I have them set up so we know where to put things. But you have to keep in mind too that the other podcast he worked with had an entire different. He worked with another crew of people as well.
Yeah.
So we need to let them keep that for them too.
I mean, we can put a link to where that
Yeah.
is for you to go and find it on the website for sure.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't know if it was something that he did on his own or if it was with a different network. I was just wondering if there's a way that we could absorb the Uncle Necro or the Necroshock shows.
I don't think we can absorb them, but we can definitely link to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was something he'd been doing for decades. And at one point he lost a lot of his stuff, and I'm not sure what all he lost with the radio versus the movies plus beer, because he lost hundreds of movie reviews at one point.
Yeah.
So that was a big blow.
He told me that most of the Necroshock stuff was okay because he was doing it in a different way, but it was most of it was just the beer and the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
But
me
we
and
will have
Raz-
links. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we will do our best to get you guys links for all of that as well, so you can see more of the world of Uncle Necro.
So me and Raz was talking earlier today about good old Uncle Necro, and I told him, I said, it just seemed like he never knew what I was going to do or what I was going to come up with when it came down to the Tomb of the Terrible. And I was actually thinking about working on something because I was going to find myself actually having a little more time to watch movies, and just didn't get to that point. But when it comes down to it, Uncle Necro, you get a 10 out of 10.
Aw.
He was always upset when Paul was on and he didn't do that.
I know.
He was so mad the last time I was on there. He's like, so what's the toilet paper say?
Yes.
Well, we have a problem. The toilet paper rolled down and it's all over. But, and then I had to do it on my hand, and then I did it backwards, and I was like, well, that ain't going to work. But that's one of the things I was actually going to do, and didn't get a chance to really think it through and get it done. And I know we were talking about what movies were coming up and what we're going to do going into the new year and this and that. And, just so he knows, he was a 10 out of 10.
The great thing is we have a very long list of his recommendations, suggestions for the show on our Discord. Very long. So I thought we would not pick anything ourselves until we run through his list.
It's a good idea.
That works. There is definitely a huge list.
Yep. There is, man, and a lot of it is shit that was on my list too. So I feel like we definitely need to just the Uncle Necro list first, and that'll take a long time to get through.
That'll be a couple of seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I know that we're not going to do, and it would be still fun to go and clip out on the Tomb of the Terrible where he was asking us what we liked about a movie and what we didn't. But you know what? That's one of those AI things. I don't think that we would even want to disgrace him with it, because I'm pretty sure he just liked the whole hands-on thing.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily, Pyle. I think that what you're talking about is plausible. We could take sound clips of James during the shows, and then Raz could attach them to his soundboard that, they're button operated. So just hit the button and you get random sayings from James.
That's definitely something we'd have to talk about. I feel get permission from his family to do like that. I don't know if I'd be okay with doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm spitballing.
The intro. Oh yeah, of course. The intro is definitely when I get down with the new intro, it's definitely going to be all about him.
Which
him and the show.
He's put his heart, his soul into this. So absolutely, I think it's a great idea going through and naming it after him, and it's a no-brainer. As much time as effort he's put into it. The good days he was with us, the bad days he was with us, and he would be upset if he was not able to make something because of whatever circumstance had happened. And on his bad days, this was the program that absolutely cheered him up and brought him the most joy out of everything we do.
Yep. I remember the day where he's like, should we just stop doing this? Because I don't think anyone really cares that we're doing this. And we told him what the ratings for the show was. And the look on his face, dude, he lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. Just the biggest fucking grin. Like, he was so excited. Like, he even did that thing where he takes one hand, he grasps the other hand, and he does the shake. What I call James's excitement dance.
Yeah.
Never forget that moment, man.
But yeah, I just
said he thought it's like, oh, we have 6 or 7 people. Actually, we had 1,100 views on this one. So,
that face, man.
That probably blew his mind right there.
Yeah, it doesn't all show up the second that we're done watching it, because some people watch it afterwards. They don't all watch it live. But
Right.
yeah,
And then sometimes later we get like 400 views in like 2 days on old episodes.
And a lot of things that people don't realize is the numbers that we see aren't actually the numbers, because we stream to some places that don't even give us the accurate numbers. Like while we're watching, the only way for us to actually know the second the show is off, you have to go to each fucking location individually and see how many people watched it while we were live. So the numbers you see are not at all indicative of the actual numbers. That's something we learned. We didn't know that one for a while. We figured, and I think Dell figured that one out. Dell or Jenny, or both of them, something.
yeah.
They told me.
And granted, some of those are people who are like, "What's this?" But
Yeah, for a
there's
few
enough
seconds.
people that sit there for a while and watch that it counts.
Yeah.
You know, I have a confession. I still haven't watched the movie that we're supposed to watch for tomorrow night.
That might be a good thing.
Why is it that bad? I did start watching it. I did, but it reminded me of like one of those 1980s high school teen flicks.
What movie was it?
Dance of the Dead.
Okay, yeah.
And I had a really hard time getting into it because it was incredibly cheesy. But and I stopped watching it before all of the zombie action started taking place, and I'm hoping that it gets better once the zombies show up.
A little bit. I actually saw that at a convention before it was like its initial release. It was at a convention. I got to watch it there. I mean, it's amusing, a little bit more amusing as it goes along, but not great.
Got some time. I can watch it tomorrow.
Well, Raz had an idea that maybe we should watch Uncle Necro's favorite B movie for the show. One of his absolute favorite movies for the show.
For tomorrow night or a new episode?
For tomorrow night.
For tomorrow night.
Okay. Which would be
Mac and Me.
The Alien movie?
The Alien comedy, sci-fi, family movie from the 80s. Yep.
I have never seen that movie.
It's
boy.
A gem of a film. It's actually one of my favorite movies, like from my childhood, just for nostalgia purposes. And him and I talked about this movie a lot. It was almost chosen for his birthday lament very many times. One year, I believe it actually was.
Putting off Dance of the Dead to watch Mac and Me for tomorrow night, then?
Yeah. That's okay with you guys.
I'm okay with that. And for everybody that would like to know, Mac and Me is officially on Tubi.
Yes, it is.
There you go.
I can
so
make
you guys
that
can
happen.
watch along with us.
Yeah. That was like weirdly, you would think it was horror, but that was the first movie I ever bonded with him over. Fucking Mac and Me. And it is stupid and fucking ridiculous, and people are having a dance number at McDonald's for no reason. It's a weird movie, man, but it's
the first product placement movie. You will definitely feel him laughing at you for watching it.
Yes.
And it is for supposed to be like a an ET knockoff.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of an ET knockoff, yeah. It's so well known that even Conan O'Brien on his show does random clips from
There's also an there's also a Mystery Science Theater episode on Netflix right now. So.
Yep.
All right. I'm down. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You will definitely regret it, but in the best way possible.
I don't know if I could regret it more than some of the movies we've already watched on the show.
It's still better than a lot of movies we've watched, but it's not.
So, interesting fact about Mac and Me. Every single time Paul Rudd showed up on Conan O'Brien, he would say he had a clip to his latest film, and it would always be the exact same clip from Mac and Me. And like his last time on the show, and Conan always fell for it. He was like, "Oh, finally, you're gonna." And like his last time on the show, he's like, "Okay, I finally brought you a clip since I'm not gonna be on here again. I'm giving it to you." And it was Mac and Me. So
Yeah, that's what it was. I can't remember what actor it was.
Yeah, it was Paul Rudd. Just
That shit's
every
funny.
single time he I don't know how many times he got him with it, but just every single time he showed up on the show.
I've heard that before. I think there was a YouTube video about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
because he just gets devastated every time.
Yeah, look on his face.
My suggestion, if you're going to watch Mac and Me, make sure you get your dogs to calm down, because they communicate by whistling, and it drives dogs insane.
It really does.
I remember that so freaking bad, because I had this dog, and she would bolt in, and it's like, what are you watching? And I was like, a alien movie, but it's not a scary alien movie. And it was just funny because I remember watching this, and my dog Sassy, or I called her Sassafras, would come flying in, and it's like, she's like right there looking at me like, what the heck? And I remember having it on VHS.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how in the heck I got it on VHS. I think my grandpa was like, oh, you like these kind of things? Here you go. But I remember that, but I don't remember too much about it. So I'm like watching the beginning just now, and I'm like, oh yeah, the dogs are the ones that hate this damn movie, because it's like, oh, here comes the dog.
What does the dog do when you're watching Guardians of the Galaxy and Michael Rooker's character is making the arrow go around?
Oh yeah, the whistle arrow.
You know,
which he will not do for you, by the way.
I don't have the same dog, and this one is a attention whore and a dumbass to begin with. So I don't know. I don't think we had him when I was watching. You know what? We're gonna try and see what dumbass does. By the way, I got one dog that is called Misty Knight, and one dog that is called Lucifer Morningstar.
I've only met Misty.
Maddie has a cat named Dipshit. Her other cat was named Cat. So she had Cat and Dipshit until Cat passed away.
My uncle had a dog, and it was like a little Chihuahua thing, and it was called Shithead. And I could never get that dog to come to me because I was yelling poop head, and the thing would not. And then my uncle, shithead, and that thing come flying at. And I was like, okay. I knew one was named Stain. I had a friend named his dog Stain. And then it became a big joke because he would say anything but come. He would say here. He'd say everything, but he would never connect come Stain.
Isn't Shithead from The Jerk? Isn't that what he names his dog? Because like,
don't call your
he would tell, there's a
I don't know.
Everyone, this dog is saving us all.
I don't know where he got that name. I just know me as a kid was not able to say it, and it's like I can't get this dog to do nothing.
Oh.
I once had a dog named Clusterfuck. Because no, maybe he was a big old dog. He would just get in everybody's way, knock everything over. Not even meaning to. He just never paid attention to shit. And just huge fucking dog. And he was a huge puppy. Like his paws as a puppy were like fucking enormous. And he just started doing this shit and causing chaos as a puppy. So he just got the name really early on.
That's funny.
I think some of our guests are having some technical issues that I cannot help them with from my phone.
Who's having technical difficulties?
I can't see. It's popping up on Messenger. I just can't see who. Maybe it might be Mariah.
Mariah's trying to come in, but it's saying her account does not exist.
That's what it did to me. Made me sign in. It was acting like I didn't exist.
They just did some updates to it, so they need to re-sign into the account.
Yeah, I re-signed into my normal account, and it still gave me the 404. So I had to sign into our account in order to get in.
That's weird because most people don't have to sign into anything if they're invited. Like, we invite guests all the time to just show up.
It was super weird. I don't know why it was happening to me like that, but since I signed in with our account, it was fine. Did you have any issue, Tom Dog?
No, I didn't have an issue because I'm on my laptop preparing for tonight's show, and I just clicked the link to the laptop.
Okay. What browser are you using?
I am using Google.
See, I was doing Google too, and it did it to me. I thought maybe it was browser related, but it can't be browser related.
I'm on Firefox because I hate change. I would still be using Windows XP if it was possible.
Windows XP was pretty
Seriously,
brilliant.
I'm still mad. I'm still mad that I can't have Windows XP running, man.
Really?
If somebody comes up with it's like when I went back to play Vanilla WoW, I was so excited that I got to actually start over again, but then they kept changing it anyway again. It was like kind of vanilla, but still advancing WoW. I'm like, I just leave it at where it's at. But if they had like, we're gonna go back and do vanilla XP, I'd be like,
Well, you can download it's the equivalent of skins and stuff for Windows, more or less. That reskins your Windows to look like and kind of like XP.
I remember
It's not the same though. I tried.
when they did a whole update and it changed a whole bunch of systems. I remember working at this rent to own company, and
oh God,
you had so many old people bringing in their computers and saying, "Oh, I must have hit something," or "I must have got a virus," or "I got this," or no, they just did an update, and I don't like it.
I have a
it's like,
20-pound brick
okay.
in the other room. My ex didn't want to do the update, but rather than saying no to the update, he just left it as like not restarting it ever. And he didn't tell me about that. And so the computer had been running, and it was like our kitchen table, you couldn't use the computer anymore because it was like too close to where you couldn't sit in the chair. And I'm like, this computer has been running for like 6 months. I'm just going to turn it off. And I turned it off, and then it has never been able to be turned back on again. He's like, no, I wasn't doing the update. I'm like, you didn't just cancel the update? No, I just didn't let the computer turn off so it wouldn't update. I'm like,
you can say no.
Yeah, you can just say no and wait until the next one comes and say yes, because it's already fixed now. It was just that one time.
Yeah.
And so I have my tower. That's why I've been using my laptop I never thought I'd be a laptop person, but because of that one Windows 10 update, my tower has been dead. And granted, I'm currently running a gaming laptop, so it's a lot better than that, dead since the horrible tragedy of the Windows 10 update. It's going to be like a week that we mark in history from when people were getting it sent to them.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Y2K thing or something. But yeah, I have not. I have to take it to somebody to fix it. But at this point, it's like, I mean, unless I can find, there might be some stuff on my hard drive that are missing stories, but I don't really know. It's not like I'm going to use that computer unless I invest a couple $1,000s into making it better than this.
And by then it would be cheaper to just buy a new computer.
Yeah, I might want to grab a couple things off the hard drive, but I'm pretty sure I can just be like, here, can you check this real quick? Thanks.
Yeah, you can yank the hard drive, man.
She'd be the type of person that's like, hey, can you get this off my hard drive? Other people's the people that look at you and go, can you wipe my hard drive?
Yeah.
And don't look through my browser history, please.
By the way, I was going to ask a question about that. If I have a login to my, like if I have a PIN to get onto my computer or onto my thing, and I have hidden folders, okay, and they're also, for some reason, everything goes to UpDrive, even though I have hidden things, but I think it's hidden on UpDrive too. Yeah. Not UpDrive, OneDrive, whatever the hell it's
OneDrive,
called.
yeah.
OneDrive. So when something happens to me, nobody can access that shit, right? Unless they know my PIN number.
Right.
No, that's not right at all. If anyone knows how to work on computers, they can find it pretty easy without the pen. They can bypass the pen. But your average person is not going to know how to do that.
Well, like my dad would know how to do that, but I doubt he's going to like go deep diving through my hard drive to try
Probably
to.
not. Probably not.
It's just stuff.
It's Muppet porn. I know it. We all know it.
There's a Mojo. Great timing, Tom Dog. Hey, Mojo.
Hey, how you doing?
But he's drunk.
How's everybody doing?
It would actually be way easier for you to yank your own hard drive and just order the really cheap thing on Amazon called a hard drive dock, which plugs into your laptop via USB. And then you just take your hard drive and you plug it into the dock and you just read your hard drive like an external.
I have one.
Yep, it costs you a lot less money too.
Mm-hmm.
Mojo, where have you been? Last I knew you were in jail.
No,
I have a
that's
whole bunch
not
of hard
true.
drives
That's
from old
not true.
computers.
What
I was
happened
doing
was
that.
there was some monkey business, and I know Pinball is mad at me for not talking about it. That's right. There was a monkey business going on in some town.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misread the comment. I didn't understand. My fault. My bad. No joke. Okay. So how have you been, Mojo?
Monkey see, monkey do, Drinking the banana rum as usual because of this cheap prick. He always buys the cheap stuff.
Oh, see, Ratatosker gets he's proud of his Crown Royal. He has a whole bar.
You're cheap bastard, Don. What? Why are you talking? Dude's got Crown Royal. You give me Bobby. You like banana rum. Yeah, but it's the cheap guy.
He has banana rum too. And
Cheap's
peanut butter
no better
whiskey.
than none.
Okay, I'm coming over.
I feel like it would be absolutely hilarious if Mojo would just ship Adele one day and like suddenly she's got 2 puppets for a week.
And you're right. This was a good timing because Rose was talking to getting home to me before I was on an OnlyFans live stream.
Well, you're looking rather dapper there.
Yeah, real smooth, man.
I didn't realize this was a black tie affair.
I know.
I'm feeling bad because Ratatosker has the tie that he wore so that he could get his foster son and or his foster nephew. And
why
didn't
are our
put it on
puppets dressed better than us?
He's wearing a dirty white T-shirt, man. Fuck.
Because actually, puppet clothes aren't cheaper than human clothes.
No, they're not.
No, they don't wear them out as badly generally.
They last longer.
I got this tuxedo at Build-A-Bear. True story. This cheap fuck gonna go to treasure on money. Mojo, I don't make that much money. Well,
Hey,
you're
Tom,
not being a whore too much.
Tom, put the Santa hat on Mojo, and so he can be in the Christmas spirit too.
What the hell? What the hell, Tom? What are you doing?
Oh, don't worry. Ratatosker can't wear a hat either.
This is why he's so cheap. He has to suffocate me with his hand.
I gotta say,
okay, I'll just give him the monkey flu. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have the monkey flu.
So, my mom sent me this clip, and it was about it was a comedian who was talking about some lady who brought her 100+ pound emotional support dog on an airplane with her and sat in her lap next to him through the whole thing, and that he said that by the end of it, he made sure that she needed her emotional support dog because he was so mad at her for having the dog. And that's rather cruel and mean. But I get where he's coming from about like having 100-pound dog sitting next to you. It would be kind of disconcerting, you know. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I say all the time, this is my emotional support squirrel puppet. And I think that, you know, he comes with me on every flight I go on anyway. He just stays in my baggage. That I think from now on, I should have him out and like on every flight and introduce him to the people that I'm riding with and hold many conversations, you know, like we do, because we hang out and chat because nobody else lives with me. So, but she thinks that I would be detained.
No, just tell me Lamb Chop's cousin twice removed. People would be like, "Oh yeah, Lamb Chop," and I'm just.
But do
He was delicious.
Do you go on flying? Do you fly, Mojo?
Oh, absolutely. I do fly. I have to, you know, somebody has to. He's actually has to carry my bag. So yes, he's my monkey boy.
Well, maybe we'll get to have these two meet on a Terrificon this year. They can hang out together.
That's if this cheap bastard will get the tickets finally.
We probably have a workaround for that for you, actually. So
I actually try to finally come out this year. Since I've been there, but I've never been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need help. So we're gonna try to we want to have at least 5 people on hand at any point in time, plus extras to rotate. So we're going to be working on getting multi-passes for crew and press. So if you guys are in need of them and are willing to take the time to be crew and press, then we might have something set up for you.
I am actually. I have to go to New Hampshire at some point this year. I'm just. I don't know when it's going to be. I gotta wait and find out.
I once walked around a Village Inn when I was a smart-ass late teenager kind of thing with a group, and we asked all of the tables if New Hampshire was still a state. And less than 50% got that right. A lot of people believe that New Hampshire at one point in time was a state. However, it was now something else, including one person said that it had been a state that was now renamed Philadelphia.
What?
Wow.
They make
I disagree. My school is there. It's an actual brick and mortar college. And I actually want to go there and walk for my master's degree. I didn't do it for my bachelor's, but I feel like if you're getting a master's degree, you should probably go.
Yeah, it's like getting your pin as a nurse. You
Yeah.
do that.
Schnoo. Are you going to Schnoo?
Yep.
Hmm.
I sure am. I love it there, man. I actually just got approved for a second master's program. The second this one ends, I get a week off and start a new one.
I actually did look into Schnoo. I was going to look at whether or not they had master's degrees in English for creative writing or something like that. But
that's what I just got. That's what I'm finishing up now.
My job is more about leadership development. So I was looking at the leadership development curriculum that they have as well.
They have great courses for that, dude. Seriously, I got my bachelor's there. I've gotten a master's. I'm going back for another master's. If I get lucky enough, I actually want to teach there. Something I'm trying to do at some point. I love the place, man. Matt goes there for psychology. Like I've turned a lot of people on to go in there, and a lot. If anyone wants to go there for writing, some of the coolest fucking like known horror writers and like comic book writers are teachers there. So you're really learning from people that know what the fuck you're talking about, who live in this industry and teach on the side.
Didn't we just have some Schnoo members on or alumni on? Yeah. Yeah.
We did. A lot of people go there, man, for their art department, for their for a lot of their fucking programs, because it's, they offer it online, but it's an actual brick and mortar, and they are the cheapest university and highly accredited for that matter too.
Yeah, I don't tell nobody, but my student loans were forgiven, but with the stipulation that if I were to go back to school, they would be reinstated. So it's more beneficial to me to not go back to
Yeah.
school than it is for me to go back to school at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a
You
weird
know,
position on that with disability as well, because that counts as an income. And as the if you even if you're just doing like internet classes, they assume that then you're able to do other things. And I gotta admit, as stressed out and stuff as I get just trying to write and do the stuff that I have,
Yeah.
there's no way I could complete college courses. But were I to go back, I could potentially lose my disability, which then
I,
if things didn't work out with college,
I've looked into this a lot
Then
because that's
you're
going to be
stuck.
a future concern of mine too. The way they run things is one class is part time and only two classes is considered full time there because of the way that their courses work. And I was told that you could go part time there because of the way their shit's set up. It's
I
a
tried it.
it's a
Oh, I,
pile.
it's a bunch of us.
that was
You could go
random.
there, but only part time.
I think I pushed something and I
It's a
apologize.
Mariah.
Mariah.
Yay! She figured it out.
Hey guys, I've got a sinus thing that's rocking me right now. I'm going to jump off here
Do you like some?
I
because
locked them too hard earlier.
yeah, I've got this little guy right here, and
Yeah, but
she's,
hers would
yeah.
do a better job.
I have like four
Probably
different
would.
ones that I can't take anymore, and I have this one.
Y'all
Powell's
doing
over there
poppers.
snorting a little bit of that
This-
white Christmas.
Got the steroid one. I got the aloe spray saline. They have me on everything. They're like, go out and buy them all. Quit using the 3-day ones. When the 3-day ones are done, don't use them again. So I've rotated to every 3-day one, and then I'm on these.
So
Office Christmas party.
okay. I'm going to jump off. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. But we're watching Mac and Me, right?
Yes,
Mac and
Mac
me.
and me.
For tomorrow.
Links in
Yeah.
the places where links go.
Yep. I do not have work I do not have work on Tuesday. So I should be able to do this movie and absolutely. And I was just
Beep, beep, boop.
running for the very first time here.
The bottom.
He's frozen.
I'm going to go bed. You
Love
guys
you,
all have
miss
a great
you.
Love you,
one.
bye.
Okay, night. Don't let the Trevor bugs bite.
And that and attaches from that plug in, and there's another mirror under it. If it ever breaks, I can just order the part. Yeah, there's two of them for $10. So, Mariah, how did you figure out how to get in? Because I need to know. Oh, well, never mind.
Okay, she's gone.
All right. She then she popped in. Hold on a minute. Here's another member of our network you guys haven't seen in a while. It's okay. We all look like shit.
Hey.
Well, I look like shit anyway. They look fine.
So, for those of you wondering what the clusterfuck is, there was yet another update with StreamYard, and it's not all StreamYard's fault. StreamYard and Facebook has been doing some things that are trying to make StreamYard have to suffer. They want you to only use their streaming software, so they're like, oh, you can't put links in your stuff. You can't put this in your stuff. You can't do these things. And so between the two, they're fucking up everything. And I'm not going to blame StreamYard for it because they're doing their best to accommodate and give updates so that things can work. But because they're doing that, of course, there are bugs that happen and little glitches along the way. So this isn't really our fault. This is multiple different software and hosting things that are just all having issues at the same time. So
I haven't seen the new
are doing
features
that.
list, but I did see that you can mark a video in your brand as opener and closer, and they will automatically play. And I was like, "What?"
Yes, we are going to work that out. But
That was
if you
cool.
do that, you can't do the cool thing where like we talk a little bit before,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know, when we hit start, like, because that's
Well,
fun.
we can do the ending one though.
Yes, we can do the ending one. That would be easy.
Raz, I have a question.
Uh huh.
For the Deadly Grounds copy thing, you said you put an audio tag in there, and it's whispered, and I cannot understand what the hell it's saying.
It's Dell saying, "Oh dear."
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it is an Easter egg now because he has sent that same version of the Deadly Grounds coffee and the Dorkening 18 and older segment out to other shows to use. So you just in the beginning hear, oh dear.
That was my big prank. And for the longest time, this is a prank for months. The only fucking person that picked up on it until I said something was Ginny.
I can't really hear it though. It's like too quiet against the rest of the track. So
I can hear it very clearly.
Once you hear it, it will never go away. Maybe it's because it's my own voice, and now that I've heard it, I'm like, okay. But
I couldn't make it too obvious, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to fuck with the ad. I just wanted to slide it in there.
Yeah. Oh, I had a question and it went away. What was it? What was it?
You forgot your question?
My question is why?
Why not?
I don't have an answer.
Y equals mx plus b. Ta-da. Fuck, I forgot. That's a t-shirt that I'm going to make. I've always wanted to put WHY equals MX plus B and make that into a t-shirt. I have my Use the Fucking Forums t-shirt that I always wanted to make up and about, which is kind of irrelevant at this point. But
now it's Use the Fucking Discord.
Yeah, something like that. But
or it was for a while anyway.
Read the fucking posts. You know, just like for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, I was a guild officer and or leader for multiple guilds through multiple different MMORPGs. And I would make guides and walkthroughs of every dungeon, every PvP situation, every single crafting thing, every single quest that we had that was something that was repeatable, all of the different guild items, all the different rankings, how to go through everything, how to play the goddamn game, what to buy, what to not buy, how to meld the auction house to you. And I would be in game and somebody would say, hey, I don't know how to do this. And I would say, you know what? I wrote an entire guide. I spent like 80 hours last week and the week before and the week before and the week before making these on the forum. So go read the fucking forum and you can step by step with screenshots and little circles on them, go through and know how to do everything. They'd be like, but can't you just tell me now? I don't want to go read. Can't you just rewrite everything and come walk with me and stand on things and jump on them for me to point at them and stuff?
No.
So I always swore I was going to make a shirt that said use the fucking forums, and I did. And you can buy it at my TeePublic store, which is in my links of my stuff.
I get that at the monologue because I post updates on like everybody's placement for the year, placements change, a lot of details on our hot Facebook group. And I will still get about 15, 20 people will come in on a Friday like, just ask me a question, literally based on something I just posted about. And I'll say, have you read our Facebook yet? Oh, I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks. Well, go and look at it and then come back to me if you have questions. Then get irritated. Why can't you just tell me? I was like, because I just told all of you in one go. And if I tell you, I'm going to have to tell that line of people right there the same answer that you're asking me right now, and they're all just shaking their heads like, yeah.
That literally happened while I was down there for the Christmas.
You got to hear it.
I literally heard him say that to several people, at least 3 that I know of. Where am I acting tonight? Did you check the Facebook group?
No.
This is a benefit of having an alcoholic emotional support squirrel. He holds my bottles for me.
Yeah. I need to know how Mariah got in. I can figure it out.
Welcome.
I gave her a little bit of help.
Okay, gotcha.
Probably shanked the bitch.
She's not allowed to do that.
Mariah, did you shank a bitch to get in here?
Nobody's allowed to shank this bitch.
Nobody would shank you.
I think I'm shankable.
You're too necessary to the Outlight Network. You're one of the pivotal people that we need. So
you
you're
can try to
indisposable.
shank me, but
Brian keeps disappearing and not talking.
I'm just saying.
Where'd she go? We lost her again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to bring my pointies? And then how many?
Wow.
I just always have mine with me.
I can't fit all of them in the closet with me and have a place for me.
Yeah, my pointers are in the basement. I have drumstick.
Drumstick can kill. It works.
This is my Harry Dresden wand.
You have to get Local Man, the comic, by the way. He's got a I have to look it up because now I'm losing my memory.
Oh, I have troubles with that all the time. That's why I have lists and lists of stuff.
Okay, so Local Man is by Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley, which is just great. But this guy who is a superhero, he's got canceled and fired because he had like an affair, and he goes back to his hometown and everybody hates him. And so like every episode there's people who are like, I gotta remember what his name is though, because they just constantly are like, fuck you to him. They're like, there's only one guy who drives a car, and they'll just, what is his name? God damn it, I'm gonna have to. Why can I not see this? But yeah, they're like, hey, here's your ride. You owe me $50. Fuck you, so and so. And he's just like, I'm not. And he's not allowed to be a superhero anymore. So anytime anything happens and he's there and he tries to save people, he gets in trouble, even if he's preventing crime. But his thing is he can use anything as a weapon because he has dead aim. So he's like, hanging out at the pizza shop and somebody goes in to rob it, and he can like, obviously knife and fork and stuff, but there's things like, the cardboard pizza box that he's able to like wedge into somebody's head, and it's just fun. So
the Parmesan cheese containers for, man.
Exactly. Crossjack. Fuck you, Crossjack.
We need to get Mariah back in and then like somehow staple her to the screen. I don't know how we're going to do that, but
I don't know. She was muted when she came in, so maybe she didn't realize that.
I think maybe she didn't realize it. And I can't put up the Skeletor meme for that.
Maybe she's practicing her triple Lindy.
Could be.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know what
I found it.
Jenny just solved the internet.
No, I just found the Skeletor meme.
Yep.
I like all
I did that forever ago.
Your mic is muted, asshole.
So did you hear, like, is this true, or was it something somebody made up that Jared Leto has been cast as Skeletor?
They are doing another live action He-Man.
I did
heard-
see that on Facebook. I don't know how true it is.
I haven't vetted it yet. I know they're making another live action one. I just don't know who's in it officially. I did see that.
Yeah, I don't want to spread disinformation because people are like, oh, he just needs to put on 200 pounds and, you know.
No, just put him in the cloak and stuff it.
That's why there are costumes and these days CGI.
Mm-hmm. I don't want Skeletor CGI'd though. You know what I mean? I don't want a CGI costume for fucking Skeletor.
There's only one character in the Masters of the Universe that needs to be in CGI, and that's Morgan.
Yep, I'll accept that.
I'll buy it.
I'll even give Cringer a pass, provided that I don't know if they're going to use the one where they did that remake where he didn't talk or this one.
So
But
we're
why
going to
is
get Andy Serkis in it because he is
There
like
we go.
the best. What do they call that specific type of acting? Like
character acting?
well, no, it's the
Stop motion?
motion, yeah,
Mocap?
or whatever it is. It's
Motion-
like he
mo-
basically invented it. Yeah, mocap is like it existed, but then Andy Serkis showed up, and they were like, "We have been doing this wrong
You
forever.
took it to the next level,
This
man.
just made a new genre happen."
It keeps
Yeah.
kicking her out.
That's odd.
Well, StreamYard, you aren't being very nice tonight. Show us some love, man. It's been a rough week.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
All right, so we had Dolph Lundgren play He-Man in
No,
the
we
very
didn't.
bad 1980s movie, but who would you think
Wait, hold
would
on.
make
Hold on.
Okay.
We need to see if Mariah can talk. She's muted right now.
staple
I
her to the
cannot.
panel?
Okay, I cannot unmute your mic, Mariah. You need to unmute yourself because you're somehow muted on your own. I tried to unmute you.
Will it work?
Stay tuned.
Will it, won't it, will it, won't it? Will she join the dance? Will she, won't she, will she, won't she, won't she join the dance?
We'll be back after these messages.
I'm
Now a word
singing
from our
Alice in
sponsor.
Wonderland again.
Evening soup.
Super VE.
So if we do a 24-hour live stream, what is Dell going to read this time?
What do you mean if? We're definitely doing it. That's a yearly thing.
I just don't know when we are doing it.
We haven't decided.
Uh,
We're not talking about anything super important until after the first of the year anyway.
yeah.
Which is very
And I discovered that I could not speak for days after reading Alice in Wonderland without wanting to like hack up blood. So it is going to be something shorter than 3 hours.
Yes.
How long is the Jabberwocky?
About 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, that wouldn't work.
I finally found the book.
And
It's still in Navasota.
Nice.
So yeah. So StreamYard is being a jerk to Mariah, and I don't know how to tell her to fix it because it won't let her sign in the other way. So I gave her our way, and apparently it's saying that's too many people.
oh, I was wondering if that might be the issue.
But it won't let her. She can sign in the other way, but it won't let her into our studio. Which
Right,
is
yeah,
amazing.
That's the
Other
problem
people
I'm
don't
having.
need to be signed in at all, and they can just join.
Usually, yeah. Because
Like
that's how
guests.
Ron and Tom are in here. But it wouldn't work for me either unless I signed in. I mean, I'm usually signed in from my computer, just not from my phone.
Okay.
And there she is again.
She's back.
Okay.
You see her?
Back and muted.
Yeah, it's not letting her unmute. It's not letting her stay for long.
This is sad because this is our party.
And we need Mariah time.
We
Right.
very much do.
Yes.
It's my party. I can cry if I want to.
And now it's Judy's turn to cry. Judy's turn to cry. That was the weirdest set of songs in like the 50s.
Yes.
Although, does anybody else remember? Because I like this has been in my mind, and then I'm like, but that's so dumb. A song about a girl who stayed in the car that was on the train tracks because her boyfriend's class ring or something fell off in the car and she was trying to get it and she died.
Yes.
Does anybody remember that? Was that a real thing?
That was a real song. Fuck. If I was talking to my mom, I could ask her. She's the reason I know about this song.
Okay, so I'm not just like
No, it's a
it's
song.
like, you know what? You could wait until it's a class ring, honey. He can get you a new one. I just was like, I have to have made that up from a dream or something because nobody would do that, but apparently people
Well,
do.
no, like class rings were a much bigger thing in that generation, my mom's generation, way bigger. Like that was the akin to losing your wedding ring when a guy gave you his class ring. It was that big of a deal.
I wore somebody's class ring for like 2 weeks.
It wasn't as big of a thing in my generation. I mean, it was a thing, but like just not. It was more if you had a Letterman jacket, that was more important than the ring. When I went to
Yeah,
school,
I had my own Letterman jacket because I lettered, and I had my own class ring, and I worked. I didn't date very often, so. And everyone that I did date, except for the one guy who I wore his class ring for a while, was pretty much a juvenile delinquent. So none of them had class rings. It was like, oh, here, let me give you my pipe to wear around your neck for a while or something. So, oh, okay.
yeah,
You
you should have just got him a collar with a tag and gotten it over with.
Some of them, yes. I will admit. Yeah, there were some that would probably deserve that.
I had a class ring, but no Letterman jacket because I didn't play sports for, obvious reasons, if you know me.
I was a cheerleader. I lettered in cheer.
You could letter in choir at ours.
Wow. I didn't do any of that shit.
Choir,
I was in the drama
choir.
club. I was in the youth club.
See, we were able to get the drama masks put on our jacket, like as the design and on our rings, but you couldn't get a jacket just for drama.
Yeah, same. You know what you could get as a cheerleader? You could get your name or whatever you wanted embroidered on your bloomers or your basically Spanx kind of things.
Yeah.
And I thought we should all get wow put on them, and then we could do cartwheels and it would say, wow, mom, wow.
Clever.
That
I
was
was
just my
actually
thought.
going to say laid, but your answer's better.
I didn't realize one day when because wrestling cheerleaders, usually, at least when we were at it, you get these gigantic pillows, like huge pillows that you sit on. They're like 2 foot by 2 foot pillows or something that you sit on at the mat so that, well, not always on the mat, but sometimes depends on where you're at. It's partially because we sit on our ass the whole time and stand up when they win and do a cheer. But I think it also kind of helps prevent staph infection when you're having to sit on these sweaty mats all the time with, like during state and everything else. Yeah, I went
A
there.
lot of the cheerleaders I grew up with, I feel like they would have embroidered wrong hole on their bloomers.
But you had to you had your patch on your pillow that had like your name and when you graduated and stuff like that on them. But I was laying on my pillow once at a tournament and I had my name embroidered on my ass because I thought it was hysterical. and one of the wrestlers came up and gave me a swat, which was okay because we were all like cool with each other like that. It wasn't like a harassment type of deal. It was like, I can read your name. And I was like, oh my, I didn't realize how short my skirt actually was when I was laying down. Fortunately, when I was in high school and a cheerleader, I weighed like 105 pounds. I was this little, like, tiny thing, but I had an ass. I was, as my mom, as someone in my family once said, I was a carpenter's dream from the front because I was just straight. But I, from behind, you would be excited, and then you turn me around and you get disappointed. That was how they described me.
That's fucked up, dude.
It was a different
Well,
time back
yeah.
then. Now everybody likes the big booties.
Yeah. Well, no, it was I had an appreciable ass apparently, but
Baby got back.
baby had back. Baby just had no front whatsoever.
Nothing wrong
But
with that.
those were different days, folks.
Yeah, right.
Different days.
30 years ago.
God, don't remind me.
Too late.
I was in high school.
I'm looking at things. Yeah, I'm looking at things. I'm like, 24. So it's my 31st. It will, this summer will be my 31st. No, 32nd, because we go into the next year soon. 32nd class reunion. I haven't been to any of them.
You guys do one every year?
Well, they kind of do a thing like, because we're such a small community, it's like a couple of different towns that are together. It's just kind of an alumni, everybody gets together.
Gotcha.
Kind of
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they, like, sometimes on significant years, the class presidents hold like, oh, we're going to have a special dinner and then we'll go and do this, but then we'll all meet up with all of the rest of the classes at the, veterans hall and hang out and just, or the golf course or something like that, and
Right.
get drunk and stupid. And I'm like, I've kept in touch with like 10 of you. And even that's just kind of like, besides James, it's just kind of like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. No offense to anybody out there. Some of you I keep in touch with better. You know this, but
you should run in there and just scream, I like turtles, and then leave. Never go again.
I'll just bring Ratatosker with me and be like, and they'll be like, we knew. Because when I was not a conventional cheerleader. By the way, my screen hasn't moved for like 5 minutes.
No, we can hear you. We can talk to you. So you're not frozen on our end.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not frozen here. I went to my 10-year reunion and I went to my 25-year reunion. And let's see, 2025 will be 35 years.
A lot of us have passed within like a couple like years of graduation in school. So like some of us still talk to each other and we still see each other and do stuff, but it's rare, very rare. Anytime they talk about an actual reunion, they do a combined like multi-year reunion. So like I don't know almost anyone really or care to. So I just don't usually go.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just don't really have much to say to anybody. And
You know, it'd be
like,
fun if I
I can't
drove to
drive.
Nebraska. If I drove there, right, and then we spent the whole time trying to convince people that I went to school with you.
Yeah.
Check their messages.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Most
I
of the
think
people
I should
from my
just take
high school-
Ratatosker as my date and just be like
there you
talking to him all night. Hey, buddy.
Most people from my high school are on Facebook. A lot of the people from my graduating class are on Facebook. So, I mean, not that I can communicate with them on a regular basis, but I know that they're still out there.
Yeah, there's some I talk
Why,
to.
my class
There's
of
at least
92
one that works in the dungeon with
never
me.
made it
So
there.
Repeat that, Tom. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was agreeing with Ron about the everybody's on Facebook, and I was supposed to go to my because I graduated in '97, and we never I paid my ticket to go, but there wasn't enough people that wanted to go because everybody was on Facebook like 24/7,
Yeah.
and so she was like, "Forget it. I'm not. We're just gonna not do anything." And here we are, going on 30 years, um, pretty soon, and we never we never had a reunion,
Yeah.
and
Should
some have moved on and everything, some have stayed behind, and I barely talk to anybody.
I don't even know what I would do at one really, because the whole point is catching up with people. Because the Facebook, the people I want to talk to, I know what they're up to, and there's not a person alive that doesn't know that went to school with me that looks on my Facebook ever that doesn't know what I'm up to. So I'd be like, "Yeah, you did the thing. Yeah, I did the thing. Cool. Let's smoke weed in the
You know,
genders closet for old time's sake. Okay, and then we're done."
the funny thing is, the people that I was closest to in high school, and I had a small group of friends, uh, Brian Schlichting, Paul Eisenhower, Steve Sexton, Darren Lasley. These are the guys that I hung out with more often than not. They're the ones that I played D&D with. We go over to Brian's house on the weekends. We played all night D&D campaign. It was his
Oh yeah.
house that I first saw the movie Highlander. I first saw the movie Dune. I fell asleep through it, but I was there. So, and all of these guys, they're still out there, but I hardly ever talk to them. But now I'm finding that it's the people that I didn't talk to or hang out with in high school so much are the ones that I actually talk to more often now.
Yeah,
Like,
that did happen to me some too, for sure.
one of the girls that I went to high school with, her name's Danielle, and she had a brother named Chris, and Chris' best friend, his name was Casey. Casey was in my class. Danielle was in my class too, but we never really hung out. We never really spoke. But now, because of Facebook, we actually speak more often. And I find that weird. Even my best friend, Rick Foley, he's an amazing artist. He was in art in high school, one of the more well-known artists in our school. That he was always commissioned to do like a lot of art stuff around the school and whatnot. So he went into it as a professional career, and it sort of branched out, rather than just drawing and painting. Now he actually does like metal sculptures and things like that. So his art career, he's really branched out in terms of his art stuff, and his stuff is amazing. I really like his work, and every now and then I'll send Rick a message, hey, how you doing, and all that kind of stuff. But I have to say, and partly it's my fault, but I haven't really communicated with him as much since high school, even though we were best friends.
I'd say one
But
of
I
my
know he's
best
still
friends.
out there and he's making art.
Oh yeah, one of my best friends from high school. I got to see the same the day after I got to see Dylan James because she's in Omaha. So I went by and swung by and saw her, and she teaches middle school students. And usually when I put out a kid's book or some of my other books, I've sent up there for her class. But she just picked up a couple copies of the new one to use in her
Oh, cool.
classroom. So I'm really excited about that. It's always a good time.
The country
Yes,
music artist Eric Church. Familiar with Eric Church?
I don't listen to music much past the 90s, so I don't know a lot of names.
Okay. Well, he would have come up after the 90s because we were in the same class. Eric Church is actually a graduate of my alma mater, Appalachian State University. So he and Rick knew each other fairly well. And the funny thing is even while I was at App State and Eric was there, I never met the guy.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
We were there at the same time, and I never met him.
I was in a group of people that used to hang out with Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls and a bunch of other shit.
Mhm.
which is totally weird. And then another group of people. Oh my god, I know his name and forget it right now. I forget Rob's last name. He's really famous skateboarder. He's the one that got our skate parks open here in Ohio, and he has a show on MTV. Or had a show for a really long time.
Sean
His name's
something?
Rob. His name's Rob.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll remember his
The
last name.
skateboarder I know is Tony Hawk, so I mean
It was like a comedy show he had. Like a bunch of people would sit down and like watch videos and make fun of him.
okay.
I'll remember the name
The
of
one
him
that
later.
does all ridiculousness.
Yes. That's it. That's the show.
I will Google that show and I'll give it the name in a few seconds.
I think it's Rob.
I
Rob Didak, maybe?
had people that like were my best friends that I hung out with every single day, and then after the summer after we graduated, when we went off to school, I've never spoken to them since.
I have a number of people like that too. It's weird because some of
And
these people are
like,
my customers at the haunt now too. Like, and I still won't talk to them. I'll see them and we'll see each other for a second, but we don't actually speak. Dudak, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Rob Dyrdek.
okay, I'll be right back.
I was a big fan of that show.
I tried looking up my school bully, the one that tormented me throughout elementary school from 3rd grade to 8th grade. I tried looking him up on Facebook, but he has such a common name that it came up with a whole bunch of results. And of course, I have no way of knowing what he would look like now or where he would be. So I have
So when
no
you
way
put
of knowing.
someone's name in, you can also put other details in along with their name, like the school they went to and stuff like that. Because if they list the school on their profile, that's an easier way to find them.
I'm just not sure that I care enough to really want to find out.
Yeah. It's
The only
weird.
reason
All
that
the
I would
bullies I had at some point in time or another, I stood up to, and either we ended up being friends or we just went our separate ways.
Well, the only reason that I would be interested in it now is to see if he's changed as a person, if he feels any kind of remorse for the torment that he put me through as a kid, or if he's still the same asshole that he ever was.
Oh, yeah. Some
That's
of the
the
ones
only
that I
basis
stood
I
up
would
to are
wanna
still
look him up.
assholes.
Well, if he's married, if he has kids, maybe he's mellowed out with age, and
Right.
he might look back on that time in his life like, I was really kind of fucked up in, that time in my life and didn't have a good home family life, whatever the story is, it could be anything. But if he grew up and he matured and he became a successful adult, then that's a different story,
Yeah, mentally,
That
yeah.
it's the kind of thing that could reshape my opinion of him.
Yeah. And kind of give you a little bit of closure, even.
Yeah, I would love to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I have no way of knowing
Yeah.
who he
It's like that
is.
moment in Billy Madison where Billy Madison's looking through the list of
Yeah.
everyone he's ever bullied and he gets to Steve Buscemi. He's like, thank you. Then Steve Buscemi comes and saves his life at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I love the part where Steve Buscemi just sits back in the chair and starts putting on the lipstick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's such a great
That movie's
detail,
so
man.
It is.
I love it. That's such a huge
I had a couple
detail.
of bullies in high school, and I got even with them, and they apologized for being jerks to me and everything. But one of them, I made out with his wife at the time that they were married, and then another time I made I made out with him, and years later down the road I slept with his sister.
Okay, did you just say you made out with his wife, then you made out with him, and then you slept with his sister?
No, I didn't. No, there's two different ones. One guy had the wife, and I made out with her, and then the
Okay.
other guy that we patched things up and everything. He was going through some issues and everything like that, and shortly, and then years later down the road, I slept with his sister.
Okay, so it was
Beware
made
of
out,
this.
made up, slept with.
Right.
Okay.
I remember this
I
one kid that would never stop running his mouth, and he tried to bully me, and it didn't work. So he started bullying like people that I knew, like that I was close to, like meek people that would not stand up for themselves. Kid's name was Justin. I won't say his last name out of respect, because again, maybe he's better off now too. Um, I picked him up by the back of his jeans and his shirt, and I ran him through a water fountain and knocked it off the wall on the last day of 8th grade, and then just walked out of school and left. That was fun.
see. I had the unfortunate happenstance of losing my Facebook of 11 years a couple of years ago. Most of you guys know this. And I had a bunch of I had a bunch of high school people on my old one. And this I've more focused since I got my account back on my connections, my industry people, and my current friends, 'cause it's great. There are some older friends that it's like, okay, it's still great to see what they're up to, but I'm not on the list of like 30 or 40 different people that I said hi to 3 times in high school that are
Right,
all on my shit,
right.
If they ask me to be friends and there's somebody that I actually spent time with or have once we started being on Facebook, we were friends or something. But with what Mariah is saying here, my high school mean girl, I have looked up, then I felt bad. I did have one or two people that I will admit that I have a bit of like my my deadly sin is wrath, and
Yep.
so I had people that I kept that were people in high school that I knew that were horrible to me, that were living exactly the lives that they should have had. And Schadenfreude, however you pronounce it, I would look on their pages every now and then just to be like, yep, your life is shit. I'm so happy about that. It makes me feel a little bit better about myself. And that's a terrible, terrible attitude to have. And I know it. But I will admit that I have done that. Followed people just to see. And I mean, like, I don't celebrate when they have something terrible, terrible happen to them, but
Right.
just generally being like, wow, you got fatter than I did. And your kid is ugly. Things like that, which are terrible things to say. But, for me, it's like, and that makes up for the time that you tried to run me over and almost succeeded.
No, it doesn't.
Or, yeah, that could hurt. I mean, like, she hurt her car at least by hitting the building that I was standing in front of instead of me, which means how bad I would have been hurt. But,
Yeah.
and that girl who stole my t-shirt and never gave it back when I loaned it to her for a date, fuck you. They're the same person.
The
But,
thing is, I really have no idea. I literally have no idea what people thought of me in high school. I never thought to ask.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I know, because I was told a
Me
lot.
too.
But well, the thing is, I never really cared because I've always kind of done my own thing and lived my own life, and what other people thought about me never really entered my mind. I just kind of did it, and if it meant that I was the butt of the joke, or the one that took the humiliation, I never really had a problem with that. I didn't care. And I guess it's kind of what led me to haunt acting anyway. I can
I
certainly
was doing that before high school.
I can put myself out there to be, the butt of the joke, or, to make a fool out of myself. And I don't care. I don't really have a problem with it. If it gets a laugh out of people and people enjoy it, then that's fine. So I never really knew what people in high school thought about me. I would like to think that I have succeeded in my life regardless of what they thought about me. So, if they were looking me up now with no previous notion of what kind of person I was going to turn out to be, they would probably be impressed at the shit that I've done in my life and to be where I am today. You know,
Right.
like, holy shit, Ron made good. You know, uh, that's that's what I would like to think. I have no way of knowing that. Uh, there was this girl in high school, and this is kind of illustrating the point. There was this girl in high school, and me and my aforementioned friends, Brian, Paul, Steve, and Darren, and all that, and we used to hang out in the morning, and she would come walking by. Uh, her name was Erin. I won't, give any other details, but Erin was drop dead gorgeous. I mean, she was just, one of those kinds of girls. Like, wow. Amazing body, beautiful face, nice hair, all that, very well taken care of. But none of us ever really talked to her. She would come in, she'd be like really nicely dressed and all of that. She had these two particular outfits that she wore that just freaking drove us crazy. And one was this little slinky black dress that she wore, the body hugging, that showed off her figure rather well. And the other one was this yellow outfit. It was a yellow crop top and a yellow mini skirt with a black waistband that said Italian boy on it. I'm not familiar with the company or anything like that, but she looked fantastic in both of these outfits, and we always loved it when she would wear them because she was awfully hard not to look at, And our consensus in our little group was that she was out of our league. And I put that in air quotes. She was out of our league. So none of us took the opportunity or took the chance or had the balls to talk to her. And then I saw her at our 2015 at our 25-year reunion. And she was there. We had a chance to talk and got caught up. She had been married, divorced, she had a kid and all that stuff. And she was doing rather well for herself. But I found out that she had very low self-esteem in high school. And she thought people didn't like her
because they wouldn't talk to her.
Nobody talked to her.
That makes sense.
There was a thing in the Discworld novels where Nobby Nobbs, he has to have a special card to classify himself to prove he's human. He's such a wreck of a human being, but he's one of the members of the Night Watch. Started dating a dancer, and she was just absolutely in love with him and everything. And the girls on the watch decided that they were going to take her for a girls' night out because they couldn't figure out why she would date Nobby. And it's horrible that they did this because Nobby Nobbs didn't deserve to have his girlfriend taken from him. But she was basically, they all looked at each other and they recognized when she was like, and he talks to me and he wants to spend time with me and stuff. And they realized, oh, she has that syndrome. And I can't remember what they referred to it as, but it was everybody thought that she was out of their league. So nobody has ever approached her because they all assumed that they would get turned down, which made her think that she was horrible and that, that there was something wrong with her completely. And yeah, that's a real thing. Like,
you guys have just created some weird brain dumps for me. Shit I haven't thought about in a long time. And the more I think about things from back then, the more the diagnosis with autism as an adult makes sense to me. I've actually been thanked by people that I went to high school with that I didn't know very well. That I still don't know like really, really well. I just talk to you more now because they said you talk to me. I never understood what they meant by that until just now because I would talk to anyone. If I thought someone was attractive and I was interested, I would just tell them. If I thought something about anyone, I would just tell you because I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to. And I still been doing this. So I was the weird kid, but I was also the blunt kid that a lot of people liked, but most people didn't want to fuck with because I was obviously crazy.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a little bit of closure in a way because, since I had the opportunity to talk to Erin at the 25-year reunion, I told her, I said, if we had known that, then we would have talked to you.
Yeah.
I was the kid that I couldn't make. I mean, I had some close friends, a couple close friends in high school, but otherwise didn't fit in well. I wore Doc Martens and stuff. I was a metal girl. James was a metal guy. We didn't have many friends because we went to a school where out of a like 30-year span, 2 people of color attended.
Right.
It was out in the middle of the country. There were cornfields on one side, cows on another. Seriously.
Whereas I grew up in a
And
school that was that was right next to the military base, so like we saw everything of every
yeah,
background and style come through.
but because I was metal and they were either hip hop or country, it was an issue. And because I didn't fit in very well with most of the kids, I mean, the wrestling team mostly had my back, but that was the wrestlers, not some of the supporting cheerleaders and other people. Because I
Yeah.
didn't fit in with them, I was a drama kid member as well. I was a speech kid member as well. So I knew kids from other high schools. And so when we would go to tournaments and stuff, my my team was busy, but the girls on the cheerleading squad didn't all talk to me. Some of them were nice, depending on what year. But I'd go over and talk to my friends that were like also in drama that were wrestlers, you know?
Right.
And that was considered me flirting and sleeping with them, apparently.
That's high school for you.
And I had
Not much
not
different outside of high
been
school.
I had not been deflowered, but because most of my friends were male, and I spent a lot of time speaking to, because like I said, it was like the wrestlers from the other teams and stuff. Um, I was called many variations on a loose woman by a couple of people, and one of my best friends as well was in the same situation. Only she and I worked together at the same spot, and we hung out with a lot of people from that town too because they were nice, you
Right.
know. They're our friends. We worked with them and spoke with them. We didn't just sit in a class with them. So we were both called horrible things, but it got to the point at one time where people 2 grades above me, so they were the seniors and I was a sophomore, and I was, like I was put ahead in high school. So I graduated when I was like 16. So when I was like 14, I believe, they tried to put in the yearbook a subtle joke that thankfully somebody else took out that was like, to the wrestlers of the next season, try not to be the 2 million and 1 served.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that's what life was like for me. And I was like, you realize I still have my V card, right? Like, I'm talking to these people. I'm not doing anything beyond that. It's, you guys don't hang out with me. We don't have pleasant conversation. Therefore, I go and have pleasant conversation with people who are my friends. And I'm sorry if, since we're at wrestling tournaments, they're mostly men because that's who mostly wrestled in those days. So things were pretty bad. And then in our senior year, our whole class like kind of had this really weird bonding thing that happened, and things got better. But there were a couple of years where it was like, not only was I with a freaky gothic chick and metalhead and weirdo, because like when I was a little kid, I read all the time and I'd gotten moved up a grade. And so they were all like, oh, she's that weirdo smart kid. Oh, she's that kid who reads all the time. Then it was like, and she's that kid who listens to Metallica and wears combat boots and stuff. And then I was also a loose woman from the time I was 14 on until finally in our senior year, we were like, just shut up. Seriously. We're both still virgins, right? And they're like, what? Yeah, these are our coworkers and friends from other activities from other schools. We spend time with them. We don't. And it became this huge thing. Like all of a sudden we're all friends again. And it was easier to write it out that way, like I was happy. I got along with people. It wasn't like a struggle to go to school every day. I wasn't having panic attacks and staying at home anymore. So it was like, okay, I'll forgive you for being stupid because you're a teenager and I'm a teenager. And I felt mad at you because you were a stupid prep, in my opinion. So, we were all dumb.
Yeah,
Right.
high school wasn't really all bad for me, but it wasn't all good either. But it certainly didn't play out like the 1980s high school movies depict it as playing out. You know, and
Yeah, none of that ever
I can
happened.
attest because I actually did go to high school in the 80s. That's how old I am. Uh, but I know
I would say mine was very indicative of high school in the '90s, like culturally.
I would not want to go back to high school. That's for damn sure. But we haven't heard from Tom or Jenny in a while. I wonder what their thoughts are.
Sorry, I was just getting some stuff ready for my show in a little while and
Oh,
everything.
that's
But
fine.
yeah, but yeah, my time in high school was rocky at first, but then when I reached my senior year in high school, that's when I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go all out. Just go out on a high note. I I was in a talent show. I was in a high school play where I'm the only student in that play where I did three roles, only three minor roles, no big parts or anything like that. And the play was called Guys and Dolls, and
Nice.
so
Love
I
be a
was one
lady.
of the game. You know, we all had to sing that one, and
One of my favorites.
I was a gangster. I was one of the gangsters running a one of the gangsters getting chased by the cops, and I was a waiter. So
Oh
and
yeah.
I only had a few lines, and that was it. And I still
Okay.
remember it. Will there be anything else? Will there be anything today, Mister Detroit? I had to think like I had to talk. I was a New Englander talking in a New York accent, and so I had to have that that talk because I didn't I had to sound like a New Yorker, so I was sounding like um like a guy from Boston playing Batman. So
So you sound like Ben Affleck. Okay.
yeah, pretty much. So
What about you, Jenny?
it worked. It worked out fine. It worked out fine. But the biggest thing was that when in 1996 when I started off in my senior year in high school, I started doing that's when I broke out into cable access, and that's how you know I only had those two bullies that I mentioned earlier, but other people saw me and everything like that, and with all the stuff that I was doing, you know didn't really get the girl and everything like that. I was still a shy little kid, you know, in high school and everything. I was in a uh, JR, JROTC program in my junior and senior year in high school. I graduated as a um, corporal, so and had a lot of fun with that. Biggest
Corporal
highlight of
punishment?
that moment, huh?
Was it corporal punishment?
Pretty much, yeah. Um, and one of the highlights in there, we went to an actual boot camp facility called Fort Dix, and there was this repelling tower, and I was afraid of heights, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I slipped and I started swinging like Tarzan.
Watch out
So
for that tree.
it was a funny moment, and literally the one of the drill instructors, no, this is all 100% true. He literally sounded like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I was having a really hard time not to laugh and anything like that. And it was really tough. I was like, come on, not that later. So that's what we literally don't know. Like, it's like this stuff to laugh because I was, at the time it was a huge Stone Cold fan and everything, and I was just like, it was funny. It was funny, but it's like, man, look at this. And then he was like busting my balls because I didn't have like a harness, safety harness to go on there. And I was like, "Sir, I don't have a." I was like, "Okay, I'm here to go." And I was like, "I'm gonna look at this." So as soon as I get to the top of the recording tower, "Now look who we're going to hear is Mr. Ryan Hagman Vargas.
Yeah.
I get your ass going down recording tower." Like seriously, and everything. That's like, it's like whatever you do, don't look down. I was like, and I accidentally said that. I was like, "What the hell?" And it was crazy too because he slept. I lost my footing. It was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm like swinging like frozen out there." It's like, get your footing back in." So, and I couldn't. So they just lowered me down like I was like I was singing WCW. So, and then I went to a nearby tree and vomited. So, yeah,
Like you do.
in a way, I conquered my fear of heights.
I think we all developed a deep-seated fear of heights in our generation from being the people who had to climb up the goddamn rope at gym class over like a 1-inch thick padded mat laying on the, like either concrete or
You had to
wooden.
do that too in our
Like
generation.
as children,
Oh
as
man,
little kids, we're like, hey,
Yeah.
can you climb up 20 feet? We'll make fun of you if
Touch
you
the
don't.
rafters.
no matter
Yeah, you have to
what
touch a
age, you
ceiling.
never climb that.
Yep.
Oh, do you know how many rope I could climb it because I was scared of not doing it because I was terrified of gym in general. I'm like, I gotta get it right or else they're gonna make me do it again.
I
So I do
learned how to
that.
do it
I could
because
do
of
pull-ups like mad, but dude, rope burn on the way down because like I was so scared.
I learned how to do the rope because of Jonathan Brandis and Chuck Norris in the movie Sidekicks because he couldn't climb the rope either, but Chuck Norris taught him how to climb the rope, and I was like, oh my god, it's that easy. And from then on out, I could go up and down that fucking rope. Jenny,
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. I needed Chuck Norris.
we're going to Jenny.
Jenny?
Take us on a magical journey.
Jenny
Or terrifying
loved
journey.
science club. I love science class. I love science club. Mr. Byram was the most awesome teacher. He would play pranks on people. There's this one teacher that was afraid of squirrels. So naturally, he super glued a realistic stuffed squirrel on her phone and then called her so she would notice. And he heard the scream, so he knew he succeeded. I forget the name of the chemical that smells like puke, but as the science teacher, he had some, so he put a little bit on a piece of paper towel and just walked down the hallway. So everybody got a whiff. We got to go on cool field trips, got to do cool science experiments. But
Oh yeah.
uh I was the kid that people tend to forget because they'll want to plan things. And I remember hearing, why didn't you do the thing? Why didn't you tell me about the thing? I would have wore the thing if you had told me it was on this. And I'm like, seriously, I have no ability to do that, to look at this or do this. So, if people did talk to me, it usually I wasn't that go-to friend. I was the older person that hung out with my sister and her friends, so they would have somebody there. But generally, uh, I have very few people left I have like one person left in my life from high school that I talk to regularly. Josh.
That's so awesome. I
Yes.
mean, like, you two are the fucking cutest couple.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Like, I'm just like, oh my God, those guys are so great.
I wouldn't trade.
You give me faith in humanity. You let me believe that there is love out there that is awesome and pure and whole.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
kind of envious actually, because I kind of wish I had somebody like that. That I had that kind of relationship with someone.
It's possible. It's just hard to find.
Yeah.
I'm
Step one, believe in yourself.
I'd rather just believe in him. It's easier that way.
I think I'm terminally single.
Same.
I'm just
I've
terminally
got a
ill.
squirrel. Oh, good news, guys! As you mentioned that, I think we might have figured out why I've been having problems losing weight. I have finally caught the family. What? Yes, I would like to lose
Problem? I
weight.
mean, I'd love to
I'm
lose
not.
weight. How is that a problem?
No, I've been trying to lose weight and it hasn't been working. And I finally just had my annual checkup for the first time in 20 years. Don't do that, by the way. People actually go to your dentist a lot.
Every year checkup.
And go to your checkup, because I've had blood tests in the past years and I've always been fine. But like almost every single member of my family has thyroid issues, and mine finally started. So I have hypothyroidism going on
Sometime in the
at
last
least a
20
little
years.
bit. So, sometime in the past 5 years, I've had checks before.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would explain. And so I'm going to be going back in for more blood tests, and then they might end up putting me on something to balance out my thyroid on top of all of my epilepsy meds, which will help me lose weight, because part of the reason that I'm not losing weight is because of the hypothyroidism, potentially.
Yeah.
So, and it's nothing that's like super deadly or anything. And my squirrel keeps wanting to grab your hand when you do that, Ron. He's like, give it to me. What are you
I've been noticing that like every time.
like? But yeah, so thyroid issues.
It's always good to have an answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, like if I had hyperthyroid, I'd be fine with it because I'd be thin as fuck.
Right.
But I have hypothyroid, so that means I have to take medicine to then start getting thin again. But yeah, so other than that, by the way, all of my stats and things are great.
That's good, man.
Basically, yeah, I'm going in for a CT for the sinuses since it hasn't stopped for 2 months next week.
Yep.
And but I have a decent cholesterol. I have a slightly elevated cholesterol level, but I didn't fast first because they didn't know they were going to do the blood draws. So they said that with the level the slight elevation that it is, it's probably just from not fasting.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I found out I'm severely vitamin deficient, like bad.
Oh, I do have deteriorating bone loss.
Oh,
Which
that's not.
But that's from all my meds. So
I have a vitamin B and a vitamin C, no, B and D deficiency that are pretty severe. They think I might have pernicious anemia, but they're doing testing for that. And they finally did discover that I do indeed have micro fractures from my thoracic spine all the way down to the lumbar. And I just finally, for the first time ever, got the MRI on my neck I'm waiting to hear back from. But because of the accident that we just got in that fucked me up pretty bad, I have to get a full body MRI that's already been approved. So we're going to find out so much more shit that I don't want to know. Dude, it's great.
Get them to give you copies of that and make pictures so that we can have. I've been waiting to get like one of my old CT scans or MRIs from. Stop it! Right, Tusker. Here's your bottle. Go.
So I've actually got the program that can read MRIs.
Yeah, I need to get one for my head because I want to show like the giant scar tissue chunk in my head that gives me seizures. So I can be like, this is your brain. This is your brain on Red Rover. Any questions?
This is your brain on Allied Network.
Any questions? Send them right over.
And then I want to also have a spread. Like I want to do it Andy Warhol style with like clips of my brain, the scar tissue, and just do different colors. But as the mass gets larger and larger, because it's a pretty fucking decent chunk of my brain is scar tissue. You guys all wondered, now you know.
No,
There is a reason that I am this way. It is called scar tissue of the brain.
Can I point something out?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
What would that be, Ron?
Well, I was going to say that this is our holiday office party, and we've talked about pretty much everything but the holiday.
fuck the holidays.
Oh, you want to talk about holidays? Okay. Get started. I got to grab something real quick out of this box.
Well, I'm just kind of curious what everybody's doing for their holiday. I know, except for Raz, because I know he doesn't celebrate.
Nope.
The stupid dinosaur arrived
Still gonna do
finally.
something.
It got there.
It finally arrived because I was about to cry because there's one toy. He's like, Santa is going to bring me this. I will have my own. He's going to bring it to me. And I'm like, well, that is the one toy I'm going to have to make sure happens.
If somebody was about to go extinct if that didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was going to cry. And then they were going to find out the words that Jenny knows that are not nice.
I have a Christmas story for you. One time I accidentally caught a manger scene on fire. Me and Lucky were drunk as shit walking back to my mom's house. We were not going to drive. We were both inebriated as fuck. And on the way back, I had to pee really bad. I mean, really fucking bad. And there was this manger scene that had like an actual manger, had like this giant wooden construction, all this shit. And it was kind of snow, a little bit icy and snowy out and whatnot. I went to the other side of the parking lot though and pissed because I had to go bad. And apparently there was a slant in their parking lot. Because that pee ran all the way down, then ran alongside an electrical cord, then caused sparks, which caught all the hay on fire. And it had just barely caught fire when we left. And by the time we made it back to my mom's house, it was on the news.
Oh,
because
no.
someone set the manger scene on fire, and it was a complete accident.
Oh no!
They were probably trying to find the accelerant.
It was just pee that went down. And I mean, here's the thing though, like they had the lights and everything on this going throughout the winter. So you would think that their power supplies they were using were better guarded against the weather. Had they been guarded properly against the weather, my pee would have not gotten inside of them and caused sparks. So I'm just going to say that I was only 50% of the problem.
Well, since you're mentioning pee, now is probably a good time since I've been drinking this all night.
That's what I did when I went dark for a minute.
So I'm going to go dark for a minute.
Okay.
Feel free to continue the conversation.
Yes.
Talk amongst yourself. I'm feeling verklempt.
Well, I know on Christmas Eve I'm going to be doing my annual Christmas special, and yeah, I know I should be with family, but it's just me and my parents. So, and I'm cooking on Christmas Day, so yeah.
Sorry, street sweeper.
I'm gonna be prepping everything, and so I'm looking forward to that. And it's weird because not a lot of people like to cook holiday dinners. Me, I like to peel potatoes. It's like only on holidays. Only on holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. I said, give me the potatoes. I'm peeling them.
Oh yeah.
And
Somebody brought us a ham,
somebody
so I
is
guess
like,
we're gonna have
like,
a
likes to
dinner.
peel potatoes. We're like, why do you want to do it? Because
If you weren't so
my
far
grandfather
away.
was a cook in World War II and everything like that. So, and he had to peel potatoes. So he showed me how to. He had one time. First time I learned how to peel potatoes was for him. So, and I've loved to peel potatoes ever since. So,
We decided that on Mom's side, there are so many of us, and having just dealt with a ridiculous Thanksgiving with like nearly 20 people there, trying to get everything organized, get all the food spread out. Fortunately, my stepsister, like the place that she works, has this huge break room, and they let us like just use it. And it even has a kitchen back, so you can throw like some casseroles in the oven to keep warm while you're waiting for stuff, throw soda in the fridge. As long as you don't take their stuff, it's great.
Right.
But we even everybody contributing, it was super kind of expensive for the main catering issue for Thanksgiving. So we're gonna do like pizza, and then everybody brings some dessert
That's actually kind of
for
cool,
holiday
though, man.
thing on that side. And we always do white elephants. And since none of my family watches this show, I'm going to show you what my white elephants are this year. We have to have gotten something that is used and costs under $10. And I got both of these. I'm going to show you two separate things. One of them is a two-piecer. But the first thing that I found on eBay this year were these vintage Clown Baker salt and pepper shakers.
That's fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah. What's creepier is that one guy was just selling, and it even has Happy Fall Y'all, a Ziploc bag for it. She has a hat that is wrapped up, but he was selling just a doll head with a hat that comes with, but the hair's all like snarled and shit.
That came from a fucking serial killer.
Well, I have his address, so if I need anything else, I can go back there. But yeah, he sent it in a nice little Ziploc bag for me. I just opened these. So yeah, so we always give, somebody gets an award, and like my family's insane. Like we've had things like I think last year Maddie brought a very old antique wooden child's toilet that you would put some like a bedpan underneath to collect the stuff, but on the side it had like a little toilet paper roll, and as well as it had a built-in place for you to put magazines in and stuff. She did not bring the part that would catch the poop, however, but she brought the whole toilet thing. We've had mannequin heads, like the ones that you practice putting makeup on and stuff. That was a present somebody got. And the rule is, if you get it, whatever you end up, okay, you can trade, like this is the first person who gets to go. Now the next person, you can either take their gift or open up one of your own, and that goes through the thing. We've had like an ET head, just a bunch of weird shit.
Oh. And
there's a trophy for whoever gives the best voted on gift of the year that you keep for the year, and then you have to bring back. But you have to, once you own it, you have to display it for the entire next year. It has to be on display somehow. And I've put stuff on the shows and stuff before that I've gotten, like that one purple shoe. It was just a tall purple high-heeled shoe statue. It was completely filled with concrete. Don't know why. Somebody just found that. I also, last year, I got a rear view mirror. We don't know what make or model it was for, but somebody was selling a random rear view mirror on Facebook. And so my sister was like, yeah, why not? And so I had a rear view mirror. I don't have a car, but I did have a rear view mirror in case I ever got that exact brand of car.
Or just walking around and hold it. You never know when you might need one.
Yeah.
Might run into Medusa. You don't know.
I would use it. I would do that as a practical joke. Just walk around town with that in your hand and said, "Has anybody seen the car that belongs to this? I can't find my car."
Fuck, I could just attach it to my cane.
There's a spot, and actually, you guys just reminded me of something. One of the places that my sister used to live at was a really narrow street, and it was right by the college that she was going to. And she and her roommate would sit out on, like, it was one of those buildings that had, like, they were all connected, and there's like the concrete between them. She was on like the top floor, so it wasn't really a deck, but there was an area to sit outside on, and they would sit out there and drink beer and watch, because people would both go driving down the street, and rear view mirrors would hit each other and pop up off the cars. And like at least a couple times a day, people would lose their rear view mirrors because they misjudged how close they were driving to somebody else and at the speed that they were going. And so it was just like they just had a litter of rear view mirrors. I mean, people would get out and get them most of the time, but it was just like what they did. It was like they'd have a count of how many rear view mirrors were lost that day.
It's fucking epic, dude. I had a box like a bin outside that says "Lost and Found rearview mirrors."
Right? I mean,
Little messages on all the ones that got abandoned. Just in case
yeah,
they ever
because some people just didn't stop. They were like, "Fuck it, I guess I don't need it anymore," or they somehow didn't notice, or something happened. But I mean,
you
like,
don't notice losing a rearview mirror though.
well, I told you recently, Mia just got a new car, and he's a delivery driver, and
Yeah.
he and my sister and brother-in-law, and I believe even my mom looked, and it was from the car dealership that like my mom goes through, and they didn't figure out until he went to go delivery driving the next day because they bought it at night that there was no sun visor on the driver's side.
I don't
They
have
sold
visors on either side right now.
they sold a car without a sun visor, and he was like, so I mean they fixed it, of course, got a new one, but who does that? Who sells that? Like this wasn't some like secondhand weird Wally's, which was actually around here, um dealership. This was like a like a major car dealership, and they
Right.
sold him a mirror, or sold him a mirror without windows. Sold him a car without visor. You'd think that that would be something you check for.
Yeah.
I also learned, well, again, I always forget this. How many of you people have to deal with this? Drew has to go and get his car checked on a yearly basis. There's an inspection. They have to pay a fee in New York
E-check.
to have a car. In Nebraska, they're just like, if you can get it to move down the fucking road, even if you have to paddle along like Fred Flintstone every now and then, you're good.
Well, a lot of states used to do them, then went away completely. Did away with them. Like we did away with our e-check forever ago. But then for a little while, we had it too. It was quite some time ago.
I know where I'm moving to when I retire. I'm over to Nebraska.
It just checks your car for like bad emissions.
Okay, Tom Dog, if you move to Nebraska, you need to learn that there are days, well, like, especially right now is the time, for the next 2 months, I will be going from having my heater on to my air conditioning on like every 15 minutes. You leave it off overnight when it's like 30 degrees, and then you wake up and you turn on the heater to warm it up enough that you can get out of bed. And then as soon as you get out of bed, you're overheated by the temperature it took you because you put your socks on. And once you put your socks on, you're golden. So then you have to turn your air conditioning back on so it gets back down to 65 because it was getting up to 66, even though it was down to like 45 as you slept, because if you're me, you sleep for like 14 hours, so that drops the temperature.
And also know that the wind can and will mug you at any moment.
Yes, the sky attacks you.
I would not mind because sometimes I have my windows open.
When the wind and sky attacks you, that's a problem, and it can happen to anyone at any time.
My room is the hottest room in the house, and even when I close the vents, because I have one of those floor vents, and so there's like a little latch where I can close them, and but still it is hot, and I'm opening up a window at times.
Oh, I was at my mom's house, and she needs it to be like 73. And I was laying in the guest room, sweating, no blankets on, ceiling fan on, but I can't turn it down because, it's not my house, but I'm staying there. And I'm just like, ugh. It took me like an hour for the ceiling fan to get me cool enough to actually fall asleep. But yeah, also here you run around, you have like a bunch of different outfits because you're like, okay, I'm gonna go outside today and it's gonna be between 20 and 80 degrees. So you get the pants with like the zip things on them. So you can be like, okay, I'm gonna run around initially wearing this, and then I'm gonna swap over and wear shorts for half the day. I take off 3 layers of tops, and then the sun just went down. I'm putting on 4 more layers until I get inside, and then I'm going to turn my air conditioning on.
Right.
That's Nebraska. It's pretty fun, though. You never know what to do. You get to wear all the clothes all the time.
Life is like the weather in Nebraska. You never know what you're going to see.
And the wind, yeah. With my 3.5 foot long hair, me walking downtown. I mean, even with a ponytail in, but when I'd walk downtown without a ponytail in, Lincoln. I mean, we're on a plain. There are very few hills. There are some kind of gradual inclines here and there, but it is a wind tunnel downtown. And Raz can attest to this because he saw tables get blown over and people's food being thrown from their table as the wind came around. But I would walk downtown and I would my hair would just be in front of me. Like I couldn't see anything. I would just I could see the ground and I would be
My hair
walking.
looks like it's alive, even pulled back.
I would get to a corner and it's like my hair would go around before me. And people got to recognize me. Okay, how are you doing? As my hair came around the corner before I even made it there, I'd catch up.
Mitch just called you the hair.
Harry Sanders.
Yes, basically. Oh, damn it. Nobody's moving again.
But you're moving and
here we go.
talking just fine on our end.
Okay, I figured it out. If I click down to Discord and then go back up, I start moving again. For some reason, I think it's Firefox is locking up for me.
Yeah,
So I can't click on
what it is.
anything.
But on our end, it looks fine,
I
though. You're
love
not
Firefox.
frozen on our end.
Yeah. But Tom, you are more than welcome to move here. We'll have some fun.
I need to teleport more people to live in Ohio.
Well,
and closer, for that matter. Ron.
Right? You just need to move up to Columbus, damn it. I can't leave my job.
I can't leave mine.
I make too much money to leave my job at this point.
I have too much enjoyment at the haunt. I can't leave it, man.
I'm like, no, I gotta go this way.
There's no way I could make as much money in the private sector as I do right now, working the job that I have. So I'm in it for the long haul.
That's
I'm in
fair.
it for retirement.
I don't know, man. Right, Pat? Just saying.
What about right, Pat?
They have a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's always a possibility I could get transferred down there, but if I'm going to transfer, I'm going to transfer out of Ohio.
No, don't do that.
I'm going to transfer down to freaking Florida.
No, I transfer down to here so we can hang out more, and then you can work in the dungeon all the time.
Well, you hook it up with my boss.
All right, you give me an email.
All right,
listen here, motherfucker. No, I'd be polite. I'd be polite to someone.
Please.
Speaking of jobs, y'all, if any high school kids or college students or somebody who's looking to get into a new career because they aren't getting paid very much is watching, go into nursing. And don't worry about I'm going to have to clean up bedpans and do all this shit and then give injections, because you don't have to be clinical. They're paying nurses over $40 an hour these days to do things like work at insurance companies and sit and just go through files, because you have to have the knowledge to approve or disapprove or move different things over. And if you are willing to work clinical, they're paying even more than $40 an hour for people to work in the hospitals. My mother started nursing back in the 70s, and she was getting paid $4.35 an hour.
Well,
that's great.
Always hiring as well, but you have to have a bachelor's degree. It's required, and not so much for the education, but because they want to know that you have the critical thinking skills.
Right.
They are pretty adamant about the bachelor's degree. It doesn't really matter what field it's in, just as long as you have one. And if you have at least 24 credit hours of math or business, that helps too.
Which field were you saying? I misheard. I didn't hear your first sentence there. What was hiring?
Contracting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely.
We deal with a lot of vendors.
Oh, vendors are the worst. Horror stories about, because they all try to sell you stuff and then they're like, oh, look, we're going to do this for you. Not really. And if you'd actually like to talk to us about it, you can't, because you paid for us and now you're going to get our customer support, which is in a different country, which I am all for anybody working a job, whatever nationality they are or wherever. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you can't speak the same language as the folks that you're going to be doing it for, it makes things incredibly difficult for something to work. So dealing with vendors, yes, you need to have a lot of patience and learning behind you.
So if anybody wants a job, let me know. If you have a bachelor's degree.
I don't have a bachelor's degree.
No, but you have a doctorate.
I do have a doctorate. I have two, actually. I took two.
I didn't want to get too greedy. I only took the one.
Well, I needed two because, you know.
One for both each personality.
But I don't use them. I don't actually advertise that I have them. I just.
Oh, I do. Fuck that. That's hilarious.
I just feel I'm glad that I have them, and I do feel like I should contribute to like my studies on the site because you're supposed to you get it assuming that you're going to contribute, and I haven't seen anybody contribute since like 2002. So I think more of us need to actually give something back.
I contribute a lot.
Okay.
A lot. I get a lot of weird opportunities to contribute to you, so I take them all.
But do you post them onto where you got your doctorate from?
I posted a couple things there.
Okay, cool. I'll have to go check it out because I haven't seen anything. When I got my doctorates, there were very few. We got them from the dude school, is what I call it.
Mm-hmm. Abide University.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I am looking at the time, and I have to get going.
Yeah, same
All right,
here.
man.
Because
And all that.
despite the fact that tomorrow's my last day of work, I still actually have to work.
Good night,
Yeah.
gentlemen. Mwah!
See you later, Dad.
So, everybody here, happy holidays. Again, my condolences to you, and about the loss of Uncle Necro. He's always going to be right here in our hearts and everything, never forgotten. And we'll see us all again in 2025 and everything, and have a happy and safe holiday and everything. And I'm going to be, of course, extremely busy on my channel. Starting tonight. You were seeing some the graphic that I put up for tonight's show and everything. So and all that. So got to do my season finale of Wrestling Prime, and then I got my holiday special on the 24th, and so Mojo's going to be on, the Nutcracker is going to be on, and we're going to be singing some 20 songs and everything like that, and then put to rest the Die Hard Christmas movie debate. That's
Ooh.
still been going. I'm putting it to rest and everything, and it's like I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna, we gotta bury this match and everything like that. We gotta and confirm what's in the world that Die. And to me, I do think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I have the receipts to prove that it is a Christmas movie.
Dude, listen. We just talked about this in the last Petted Cell. Here's your ultimate proof. For a movie to be a Christmas movie, Christmas has to be integral to the plot. In that building, only one kind of party would have that many people, that drunk, and that fucking not paying attention for that to have happened, and that's Christmas.
Exactly.
Bam. That's it.
Exactly. And even Peter Billingsley, spoiler alert for what I'm going to be talking about on Tuesday, is that Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in Christmas Story, he provided evidence that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So
also, John McClane wouldn't have even been there to see his kids and his wife if it weren't Christmas. It was a big deal.
Exactly. And also it's Bruce Willis movie too. So okay, but you can see all of that on my YouTube channel, the Grill Pro, and Face hug that subscribe button and go rid of Tasker. It's more right at Tasker. Funny.
I chant that at squirrels whenever I see them. I'm like,
You got any parting words, Ron?
Spay and neuter your friends. I don't know. I'll be in line at your mom's house for the waffles.
Pancakes.
Pancakes. That too.
Waffles are inferior.
Both.
Don't forget the shovel.
Don't forget to shovel. Yeah, I think that Necro would have had fun with the show if he had been here tonight, and I think it's a good decision that we are putting off Dance of the Dead for Mac and me to pay homage to James tomorrow as well. I don't know who's going to be hosting it, but I will be here.
I'll be there.
Probably with this hat on
too.
still. Yeah, for me, my holidays, I am going over to my cousin's mother, my aunt. She has a house over in Dublin, and we're actually all getting together at her house for Christmas. And we are also doing a white elephant, but ours is a little more expensive. We had a top amount of $50. And since I don't think any of my family is actually watching this, I bought a weighted blanket because it's something that I would want. So I'm pretty certain that they would all want it too.
And if not, maybe you'll end up with it.
So, but no, I have a feeling I doubt that I'll end up with it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And they're also my cousin's side of the family. They're all Korean or half Korean. My cousin's half Korean.
Cool.
So there's usually my aunt makes a lot of Korean food for dinner as well. We don't really do turkey or anything like that. There might be ham, but it remains to be seen because Koreans have, kind of a different idea of what they eat for Christmas dinner. So I always look forward to that because, yeah, Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah, man.
Numbing.
That sounds awesome.
It should be a lot of fun. I look forward to going over there. I can't be with my own parents in Florida this year. I'll be going down there at the end of January, and we're going to go hit Daytona Beach probably 1 or 2 times while I'm there, which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, man.
So this is kind of like the next best thing. I get to spend time with my Ohio family as well, that are Korean side, so I get a little bit of different flavor for Christmas food. And
oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what I got planned. And man, once I get through work tomorrow, I'm done till January 2nd. I'm looking forward to have that time off. Just kind of recharge. I'm actually planning on trying to get this stupid novel done before I go back to work and practice some martial arts and just kind of recharge my wheels and get back on the bandwagon and do all the stuff that I keep procrastinating and putting off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
But I'll be around. You know how to find me.
We'll grab you.
Yep. Just
Ron, get the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all you got to do, really.
Ron, we want you here now. Go watch this now. You have 1 hour and 35 minutes before we go live.
Yeah. We're going streaking on the lawn. Bring your green hat. All right, so I'm out. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Good night.
Night.
Bye, Rob. Bye, Tom.
Buenos
Happy
nachos.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Nacho Supreme.
Oh, we gotta get out of this one. I hate this one. Okay, there we are. I'm actually going to be taking off too. I've been talking with the sinus thing for a while, and it is getting better, but it's still not the best.
I mean, we can shut it down. We've been doing this for wow, Yeah, 2 hours and almost 2
hours.
hours and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just need somebody to answer that one question after we get done with the stream, or
Yeah,
and then
I'll be able to
we'll
look at the messages when that shows up.
All right.
Okay.
Well then.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
You know where to find me.
Happy holidays, everybody. Look through the show notes. Hang out. Rest in peace, Uncle Necro. We love you.
Yes.
And everybody be well.